slow. But if you don't want to tell me now.
Western Australian Country Football League Championships. My name is Tony Neal and joining me is James Gardner. Welcome, James.
G'day, Tony. It's great to be down here at Mandurah, pumped for a big 4 days of footy.
Mate, this is Between the Post football show. We'll be doing 4 shows across the carnival. And of course, this year the slogan is bigger than ever. What do you think that might mean, James?
Well, we're just taking it to the max. We've never had a carnival quite like this. There's a lot of teams coming down from all around the region, and we can't wait for these next few days.
And of course, our daily show, for those that would like to know and tune in, it's going to have a daily show with different co-commentators along the way, coming from north, south, east, west. Of course, we've got guests and interviews, and we've got some other things as well coming up.
We've got that much in there that you don't want to miss it. We've got marks, we've got goals, we've got highlights, all the results from the day's play in our reviews, and we'll be previewing each day. Cannot wait for it.
And just tell the viewers out there where we currently are for day one of the Colts, which is, of course, coming out.
It is, yes. So tomorrow we're at Lane Group Stadium here in Mandurah, the home of the Peel Thunder in the Waffle, a magnificent stadium. We were here last year. It's a great facility and the ground is in great nick at the moment, Tone.
Fantastic, James. And I'll tell you what, folks, stand by because it's all about to be brought to you. We're going to take a short break. Welcome back, viewers. Well, of course, all these teams are so appreciative of them coming down. They've travelled north, south, east, west. They've all arrived. We have 18 senior teams this year and 8 Colts teams. And let's just first of all have a look at the draw from the Colts. We've got 2 pools, Pool A and Pool B. What have we got with the first day, Thursday the 6th, James?
Yeah, tomorrow we've got a big day, 8 games running from 9 o'clock right through to 4. A lot of football in that. You've got, the Peel, Great Southern, Great Northern regional districts, Pilbara, Avon, Southwest, Kimberley. They've all come from a long way away, except probably the Southwest and the Peel. But it is a big effort to come down here, and it's going to be a massive day and a massive carnival for those guys.
Mate, we move across to Friday, of course, the 7th of July. We've got 4 games there, and then we go into the playoffs, which we'll cover a little bit more on the upcoming footy shows. But you can see there, 7th versus 8th, 5th versus 6th, 3rd versus 4th, and 1st versus 2nd. So that goes from 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock, and that's out at Pinjarra. So tomorrow, of course, is Lane Group Stadium here, but the next day is out at Pinjarra, so we're heading out there tonight to have a look. You've got a little bit of background on just the Colts first of all, and a tip.
Yeah, so the Colts guys, we saw them a lot last year, but there's really talented guys right through all these teams, especially in the Southwest, Peel and GNFL. I'm really focusing on those 3. I think it's between those 3 as to who will take it out this year. Great Southern are always a big team along with Avon. The Kimberley and the Pilbara, they'll use their pace and speed. The conditions may not suit the way that they play in terms of the wet weather footy, in the way that they like to carry the ball a lot and run it and use their skills. So I really do look to those bigger, stronger, more contested teams. And that's when I think that it'll be between those 3, the Southwest, Great Northern and Peel, because of their preparation as well. Great Northern, they've been training from a long way out, couple of months. Peel and the Southwest, we know, we spoke before about them. They do carnivals, they train from a long way out. So, as I said, those 3, and I reckon Peel will go back-to-back this season.
I think you've touched on something too there, James, is Western Australia is the biggest state in Australia, of course, and, everywhere they're playing football, but the different types of football. I'm excited to see what Kimberley Spirit bring, and the name itself says something just like that, and that free-flowing, because I think, I'm going to ask some of the coaches about this, is it just all-out attack? Do you bomb down and get numbers to the ball? Do you try and chip it around? How much work is on defence? I'll probably say 10% because it's see ball, get it through the big sticks because you've got 20 minutes either side.
Well, that's what I was going to say, was these shortened games, you need to be getting scores on the board. You can't be just locking down for a quarter and just waiting for the game to sort of settle. You need to be on from the start, and that's when the likes of the Kimberley can be, on their day, a really tough team to beat, and the Pilbara as well, because they come out from the first bounce and they're on. And these shortened games, they can use their flair, use their excitement, use their pace, and they are an exciting team to watch. And I'm really looking for. They're probably the two teams that I really want to see is Pilbara and the Kimberley, and see how they match up against the likes of Peel and Southwest, and those, because they are in some ways similar sides in the way that they have that balance of Southwest and Peel between that excitement and flair and the contested ball. So how it's going to stack up is we'll wait and see, and time will tell, but I'm excited, that's for sure.
And look, the other thing, I love this quote, folks, when you have a thoroughbred, don't leave it in the paddock. So, do the coaches just say, there's our players, they've excelled at their local level, do we just put them on the field and just let them go? It's a bit like, Air Jordan and this type of stuff. If you hear the stories that went on in the background with them, the coach was playing tiddlywinks and different things on the board, crisscross and everything, instead of coaching, because you just let them go and they had an understanding. So it's going to be interesting. You just put them out there. What kind of structure you put around it? How much is game plan? And are you going to take a player naturally away from what they do, which is the flair and run and carry, and try and fit into a structure? So there's some interesting questions going to be asked. Exciting couple of days. The Colts are the future of football. It's so encouraging. I think it's fantastic that the country championships involve the Colts, because this is the future. We saw so many moments in games last year. We saw patches of play that blew out to maybe 15 or 20 minutes of brilliance. We saw individual games, and we saw teams playing great games as well. So once those nerves settle very early on, they've got the travel out of the system. Game is on. When that first siren goes and that ball goes up, mate, we cannot wait. So that's a little bit of a wrap around the Colts so far. What we're going to do, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and have a look at the three different divisions of the senior men's.
Down here at Lane Group Stadium in Mandurah with the former president of the GNFL, Colin Cox, president for 12 years. Cox, you talk to us what you're holding there in your hands.
Thanks, James. Yeah, James, it's a trophy which goes back to 1912. It's the original trophy for the original Country Week game held in Perth in 1912, in July 1912. There was a renovation at the recreation ground for the grandstand in 2013. There was a little storeroom underneath the grandstand. They asked me to come and collect all the gear out of there, so I've gone down there and put it in my car, took it home, threw it in my shed. This year, Legs Teakle, the coach, said that he wanted some old paraphernalia. So I went in my shed and dug it out and polished all the trophies up, and this was out in the bottom of the box.
It's extraordinary. It was called the Sandover Cup. It was won by Geraldton over Nelson back all those years ago, 111 years old, and it's extraordinary you've had it all this time. How do you think this will inspire the boys heading into this weekend?
Should be great, mate. I think we've displayed it 2 or 3 times now for the boys, and I'm sure they'll have a look at it, and hopefully this will inspire them to win. We've got some really good kids coming down, seniors and Colts, and hopefully that'll do the job.
The Colts kick off their campaign tomorrow here at Lane Group Stadium. They were runners-up last season to Peel. Jason Graham, coach. How do you expect them to fare this season? Obviously, a lot of young, talented guys in that squad. Do you think they have the depth and the experience to bring home the trophy?
Sure, mate. Chewy's a good coach. This is his second year, so he knows what to expect. The guys have been training since 2 weeks before the start of the season. They all played in the All-Stars game and been training ever since. And yeah, it's a call for a squad of 35 and 34 come into training, mate. Just shows the dedication of these boys. So I think they'll do really well.
On the senior side of things, obviously the GNFL are making their return this season after a bit of a hiatus last year. Leith Teakle, the coach, how do you expect them to fare? Obviously some big names in there, none bigger than Harry Taylor.
Sure, Leith's been all out to make this make a good game this time. We got dropped to B grade, unfortunately, from last year. Couldn't come down due to COVID, one thing or another. Leith's all out to win this year. He's had the boys training for 4 or 5 weeks as well, and he's pretty happy the way they're going. I think there's only one guy that dropped out that he had on his list, so hopefully they'll do really well as well.
You certainly hope so. Hopefully another cup will be returning to Geraldton this year. It's great to have you on board, Colin. And to give thanks to you, we've got a pair of the magnificent Archie thongs and the Dartfish beanie, which you're already displaying. You've already got one, but we'll give you another. They are some of the best thongs you'll ever get, mate. So I hope you enjoy them, and thanks for your time tonight.
Great, thanks, James. Cheers, thanks very much.
Well, thanks very much for everyone that's viewing out there and staying with us, James, because we've got a lot to unpack, of course, with the senior men's. Very interesting here. It goes across Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So the first one is Division 1.
Yeah, the big boys, the Division 1, the main teams, Avon, Southwest, Peel, Ongerup, who are up from Division 2 after winning that last year, Upper Great Southern, and they're also in that. They're playing the first day up at Pentanet Stadium where West Perth play, up in Joondalup. Beautiful ground that, and they're playing from 11:30 right through to 3:30, so there's six teams spread across 5 games on that day, on the Friday, so that will be a very exciting day of football.
We go to Division 2. There's 6 teams across 6 games, and Great Northern, Central Midlands Coast, Eastern Districts, Goldfields, Central Wheatbelt and Mortlock. And, of course, that's down here at Lane Group Stadium where Peel Thunder are, of course. Division 3, James?
They're at Gil Fraser Oval in North Fremantle, so an amateur club there. There's 7 teams spread across 7 games. The North Pilbara, North Midlands, the Hills, Esperance, Gascoyne, Onshore Cup and Great Southern. And they're spread across on the Friday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m.
We go across to Saturday in Division 1. Those teams we mentioned, 8:45, so an early start for Peel and Southwest down here at Mineral Resources Park, Perth, 8:45 through to 12:45. Division 2, where are they and what are the times, please?
They're at Revo Fitness Stadium where the Claremont Tigers play, and they're playing from 10:30 through to 3:30, and that will be a big day for all teams involved there.
Of course, 6 games there. There's 5 in the first, 6 in the Division 3. Has the 7 games, at Lane Group Stadium, Peel Thunder down here, 10:30 through till 4:30. So we get through 2 massive days of football, like absolutely huge days. Then we get the grand finals. So what have we got lined up for the 3 different grand finals there, James?
Down at Fremantle Oval, at Fremantle Community Bank Oval, where South Fremantle play. And so we've got the Division 3 grand final. They're kicking off at 8:45, a nice and early start, and then Division 2 kick off at 10:55. And of course, they're all longer games, 4 20-minute quarters, and then obviously 5 minutes per quarter time and 10 for the half time.
Yeah, so the 4 quarters is interesting after 2 days of football. But we saw fantastic football there last year and mighty effort by all the teams. And we move into Division 1, the big game there at 1:05. So a chock-a-block day of football. Don't worry about tuning into any other games that might be showing. It's 8:45 through to 1:05 for the start of that big game. And what a massive day of football and a massive 3 days, James.
If you're a football fan, this is the time to be alive. You've got high quality country football action. Really, I think it's the best quality of football is country football. That's where the grassroots are. These are the future stars of the AFL, of the Waffle, and there are some ex-AFL players, ex-Waffle players on show. Can't wait for it.
Now, James, you've got a little bit of a write-up there. What have you got for us?
Just a few tips and a few teams that I'm really looking forward to seeing. I'll start off with in Division 3, the Great Southern. Obviously, we know big boys, contested ball team, Esperance in the North Midlands as well. North Midlands, they're up near my region. They've got a few very talented players that they've been able to get up from Perth, ex-Waffle, ex-AFL players, so look out for them. I think they'll be featuring heavily.
So you're not nudging a bit of favouritism towards that team, are you there?
No, I'm not. Esperance and the Great Southern are very good as well, but I do know a fair bit about the North Midlands. That's why I've sort of penciled them in. Division 2, that's going to be a cracking division. I think this is really going to be the closest of the lot. The Goldfields, they've been relegated from Division 1. I saw them last year, actually. They weren't that bad. They weren't far off the likes of Peel in the southwest, so I'm really looking forward to them. Great Northern, they make their return after their hiatus. We spoke to Colin Cox before about that. He's excited, and we've got some big names in there. Harry Taylor, nonetheless, he's the biggest of them all. And then the Mortlock Footy League, who are also a very, very good league. I think they'll be featuring heavily. And then Division 1, really, you could raffle it right through. You've got Peel, Southwest, the reigning champions. I think they'll obviously feature heavily. They're really confident, the Peel boys, and I can see why, because they've got some talented players through there. And Upper Great Southern, another really strong contested team, who also have a bit of pace on the outside.
So expectations are high from all teams involved. They all start equal. The league hasn't said, okay, you must finish here and you must finish here. Promotion, relegation at hand, bragging rights, I guess, for 12 months as well. It's not about that. It's about the involvement, though, and to see all these magnificent people, which we're going to touch on in a moment. We're going to come back and we're going to have a little discussion about what we're looking forward to the most. And we'll also cover off, because this is very interesting, there's a couple of rules that we need to have a look at as well. So stand by, folks. We'll be back in a moment.
When you think of the future of your business, What is it that you hope for?
I'm just going to start the irrigator.
Ways to grow? Ways to be more self-reliant? And always be one step ahead. Are you looking for a partner with solutions to complex business problems? Well, no matter your goal, with Nutrient Ag Solutions, we'll help you go further.
Since day one, McIntosh & Son has been growing our services and support for our customers while investing in the future of our people. We know you need the right equipment and we will be there when it matters most. McIntosh & Son. Grow with us.
Well, welcome back, folks. And just on a personal note, I thought we'd talk to a couple of the commentators about what we're looking forward to the most. And it was just so enjoyable. We are very fortunate. If you practice gratitude and so on, very fortunate to get out. And from my end, it's, yes, we are seeing some great football played during the games, but I guess for me, meeting the people, getting out there, doing the interviews, but even when we're not interviewing, not commentating, you're walking past and you're talking to people, whether it be team managers, whether it be players. We were out and about in some of the different venues, getting our meals, and some of the teams were there, and you just walk up, see them in the team colours, and I welcome that for any of the players and coaches out there who happen to see us around the place. Come up and have a yap. Everyone's got a story to tell. So the two things for me is meeting the people, hearing about their regions, and the stories that people want to share with us. So it is a fantastic 4 or 5 days down here. What about yourself, James?
Well, obviously the football, seeing the top country players in both the Colts and the seniors coming together to play some really high quality football. It really is the sort of top echelon of country football, but also then off the field, the camaraderie that happens in amongst not only the regions and coming together, but also regions getting together, having a drink, having a dinner together, getting to know each other. And then, if they do progress further to waffle football and they're playing together, then they're already that step closer, and they create lifelong friendships, which is great to see when you get back.
You're exactly right. They become combatants. They're combatants on game day or during the game, but afterwards, friends. And you might get a guy from the Kimberley talking to a guy from Albany. Yeah. And what have you got in common? Where do you play? And, I've had this injury, or I know this person, and whatever. So 6 degrees of separation as well. Importantly, folks, we'll cover this, so stay with us, because if you're sitting at home watching this, what are some of the rules? So the first one is the times. Let's go through that, James.
Yeah, so the times for both teams, they'll be played in round robin, and there'll be 2 20-minute halves with only stoppages in time if there is a serious delay, such as a stretcher or another significant delay. And then the final for the Colts will stay the same, 2 20-minute halves, no time on. For the seniors, 4 20-minute quarters with time on for extended halts. With 5-minute quarter time and 3/4 time breaks with a 10-minute half time break.
And of course the rules, and we see this, it's interesting across different leagues. Some have got some rules adopted from the AFL or the Waffle or the Sample or VFL, wherever you may be, and some haven't. So what they're doing here is playing by the new AFL laws, which are the 6-6-6 rule. So this is an interesting rule, of course. When that ball goes up, you have to have 6 inside the 50 at both ends, and then your 6 around the ball, of course. The new standing on the mark rule, so that might test out some of the players. Are they playing that up in the leagues that you're watching currently?
Yeah, so in a lot of leagues it has been brought in this year. Obviously last year we saw it where a few leagues hadn't, and there was a bit of confusion, but I think this year we will have sort of a blanket understanding. All the players will be across it, and I don't think we should see too many penalties, hopefully, due to moving on the mark.
And of course there are a lot of other rules. There's a couple I'd like to mention. I won't mention them now. Let's stick with the 3. The 6-6-6, the standing on the mark, and the new distance on kick-ins. And we often see players getting an extra 10 metres, but then is it a bomb down the ground to a pack that really doesn't gain an advantage, or do you kick to a particular target? Let's talk about, and we hope that we don't see any of this, but if there's an order off, there can be a yellow card or a red card, James.
Yeah, we obviously don't want to see this, but for a yellow card, the player will be sent off for 7 minutes, but can be replaced immediately. And for the red cards, the player is off for the remainder of the game, and is automatically on report and is replaced after 7 minutes by another player.
Okay, so, interesting there. You don't want to be getting a red card, do you? Drawn match policy. The round-robin games, in the case of a tie at the end of full time, the match will be deemed a draw, with each team being awarded 2 points. Now, that could really affect the ladder there. Grand final. There shall be no drawn grand finals. All drawn grand finals will be decided by 2 5-minute periods of extra time. How exciting. If scores are still level at the end of the second 5-minute period, play will continue until there is any score, point or goal. A bit like the golden goal, if you like, or golden score, we'll say, golden point. So there we have it, folks. A little bit of a wrap on some of the rules. Kick back and enjoy. Awards. James, fair income. There is an absolute pile of awards and some important sponsors as well that we need to thank. So first of all, Nutrien Ag Solutions, alongside the Western Australian Country Football League as the Country Championships naming rights, and also the men's division partners. So thank you, Nutrien Ag Solutions. CBH Group, of course, massive sponsors of the Colts. And also we'd like to mention Rio Tinto, who are covering the women's later on in the year. Who else have we got there?
We've got a lot of sponsors who have supported the WA Country Footy League for a long time, including Belts Up, the Insurance Commission of Western Australia, Think Mental Health, Regional Men's Health, and the West Australian Football Commission. So 4 very, very important sponsors there who have put a lot into WA Country Football, so we thank them for their support.
And we may have to adjudicate a few things here, because these are the exciting ones. The goal of the game and the championships, Macintosh and Son. And we're going to cover off some of these sponsors throughout the broadcast a little bit more about who they are and what they do. So that is our goal of the game and championships.
And then the mark of the game and the championships, with thanks to Bruce Rock Engineering. They're going to be 2 very tough ones to judge, because I have a feeling we're going to see lots of good marks and lots of good goals through the carnival.
Now, James, we also have to adjudicate on the player of the match. Now, the player of the match this year wins the 25-year commemorative jumper. So it comes in the container. When you see us out on the ground presenting a little container, that's what it is. And inside is the magnificent jumper and beanie, which you'll be seeing modelled on the screen in a moment. Just trained down to within an inch of my body fat percentage for the photos. Who else have we got? This one's an exciting one.
Yeah, it's the Omnibus Igniter, the igniter in the engine room to get things moving. So they get the Archie thongs, which Tony's holding up now. These are some of the most comfortable pairs of thongs you'll ever get. Go and get yourself a pair of Archies, because they are fantastic. Great arch support. Get around them.
I've noticed, James, you've knocked off about 5 pairs there, one in each colour. They are fantastic Archie thongs. Of course, Dusty Martin is the ambassador for them. We give them out across Australia, and they are the most comfortable thongs. This isn't their slogan, this is my slogan. Fair income, you'll sleep in them. We'd also like to thank Sportal Scoreboards. They are doing a magnificent job all across Australia as well. Get on board with the interactive scoreboards. Call the great John Noonan. We'll put some details up around John. Future-proof your club with a Sportal Scoreboard today. We also like to thank our filming partners, Filming Footy and Dartfish. Welcome, folks. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to be joined by Jeff Hillier, the General Manager of the Peel Football and Netball League. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
And of course, mate, we talk about the Western Australian Country Football League Championships. Not too far for you guys to travel, your teams, just from the local area?
Yeah, local area, but we do travel from Pinjarra, Waroona, Centrals in Mundajon, Rockingham and all over the place. So, yeah, we've got Peel region's very big. So.
Jeff, very interesting. Your Football Netball League has 7 clubs. And, folks, wait for this. Some exciting news just about to break. Can we announce it?
Yes, we can. We got 7 clubs at the moment, but we're looking forward to Secret Harbour Dockers Football Club coming into our competition, which they play in the Fremantle colours. So it's going to be fantastic for the competition because the clubs won't have buys going into next year. So that's fantastic for them.
Oh, sensational. And also you've got netball, as we mentioned, which is really great because the teams can then socialise together. Has every club also got a netball team?
Yep, all our clubs have got netball teams, so the whole 7 clubs currently have netball, and we're really it's really good for the whole region, and it's good for the clubs financially, as you said, because, basically it brings, a whole pile of different people to the club, all different genders and everything, so it's good.
And on a quite serious note, I know the Think Mental Health program is really spread out through all of Western Australia Country Football League. It's a fantastic initiative. It's something I feel very strongly about, the mental health side of things. How has your league embraced it, and what kind of programs have you been running?
Right, the Peel Football League has embraced it a hell of a lot. We can actually thank Pinjarra Football Club. We've got Bronwyn May and Crystal that are doing a fantastic job, and they've been working with the West Australian Football Commission. Also, our umpires have been involved in it too, so that we've been wearing the light blue shirts and on game day, which is really good, and promoting Think Mental Health in the maximum way. So, because it is very important, and I think Pinjarra Football Club had a Think Mental Health program there a few weeks ago, which I attended. It was a really good night, and we've got other clubs getting involved in it too, so it's really good.
We talk about community and the region, and for a lot of people, I know I grew up, across Victoria, South Australia, Western Australia now here. You talk about community, and sometimes the best day and the biggest amount of support you can have is from your sports club, maybe on a Saturday or Sunday, whether it's watching the juniors or the seniors, and feeling a part of what we call Maslow's hierarchy, the tribe kind of feeling. But that's where a lot of the support and the talks take place.
It does, yes. I mean, that's what's good about the Peel region, I suppose. We're bringing everyone into, especially at finals time, bringing it into one hub, which is actually Russian Park here, and it works really, really well. So, and we get, really good crowds, around 3,500 people. So, yeah, it just builds, and we get a lot of kids come on the day too because of women's football.
And Jeff, the other thing here, we're in this fantastic arena now. We've had to move inside. We've had sunshine, we've had the zinc cream in T-shirts, and then we got poured on with the rain. So we've come inside. It's a fantastic place inside and outside. But who actually looks after Lane Group Stadium?
So City of Mandurah, very heavily involved, and they've been here nearly every day this week, making sure everything's been done correctly. The grass out there just near the squares, just laid on yesterday actually, and they did a really good job. And also Peel Thunder, they're basically out there every day having a look at the ground, making sure it's right, and they're in contact with the City of Mandurah, making sure everything's done.
And how good is it for the whole region to play the Nutrien Ag Western Australia Country Football League Championships here, both here and at Pinjarra? We've got some games.
Oh, it's fantastic for the local area, fantastic for Pinjarra Football Club, Football and Netball Club, and also the fact is that there's not too far between the two grounds. Like Pinjarra's not that far away, so I think it works really well. And you've got Division 2 and Divi 3 here, yes. I think on Friday and Saturday, so it works really well.
Now, Jeff, that's an external look, if you like. Now I'm going to drill down a bit and let's see what your knowledge is like. The Colts, they are the reigning premiers, folks, from last year. It was a mighty effort down here. How's the preparation been, first of all?
Well, big change this year. We got a whole pile of new personnel because our coaching staff from last year moved on, and oddly enough, he's coach of Baldivis Football Club. But for us, we've actually employed a new coach called Michael Griffiths, and he's doing a fantastic job, and he's really looking after the boys in a good way. We actually prepared for the last carnival, which was at Lake Grace, and we did that really well, and we're getting ready for this one. So it brings us into the next carnival, which is great.
The senior men's, how's the squad looking?
Senior men's is looking really well at the moment. Robbie's doing a very good job. He learned a lot from last year. We put Robbie in the role last year as the lead coach, and he learnt a lot. So he's going back into it this year with refreshed ideas, and the good news this year is our league players are brought into it. They're actually getting involved, they want to be part of it, and I think that's great for our senior comp. So I think it's going to work really well.
And we spoke about that, didn't we? Because that buy-in is so important to the culture and the feeling within the sport itself and within the team. Also, you've got women's football in the region. Tell us about that, and of course the championships later in the year as well.
Yeah,
representative team.
Yep, our women's footy's been going really well, and it's just improving every year. We even got a Navy team in the competition this year, which I'm going to promote. So we got from Garden Island. Yep. So the interesting thing is we go to Garden Island every couple of weeks and play over there, and it's just a great location, and it's a bit cold some days because you're getting the breeze off the ocean, but it's great to have them in the competition, and our women's competition is just getting better every year. And I think we're going to do really well. We go into that competition in October. We've got really good coaches in Steve, Steve Markham, who's also the Peel Thunder coach. So we basically got experienced people doing the roles, and I think it's great for our women's competition.
Fantastic, Jeff. Of course, none of this could happen without great sponsorship, and I know you've done a lot of hard work in the background. And have we got 3 or 4 main sponsors I think it's very important that we recognise? Yeah,
look, we've got Alcoa, and Alcoa have been sponsoring the league for about 25 years, oddly enough. Yep. Yeah, it's a very, very long time. Without their sponsorship, it would be hard to survive. We've got Ray White's Real Estate, and the gentleman concerned's been sponsoring our Colts program now for 10 years. So, very long-term sponsors. We've got WA Fuels, which have been on board now for 3 years and basically very, worth their weight in gold because they put in some good funds. And also we get great support, and also a sponsor is Peel Thunder Football Club. Paul Eckes, is brought into our competition, and hopefully, we can help them grow and we grow at the same time. So it's really good.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much for giving us an insight into what's happening with the Peel Football Netball League and the region and the teams coming into the championships, of course. Yeah, and we'd like to wish you all the best for the championships. Thanks for joining.
No, thank you very much, and thank you for doing this, and hope to see you later on tonight. So, yeah.
Well, it's always good to sit down with the boss of filming footy and Dartfish, John Douglas. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Tony. Pleasure.
Mate, fantastic to get Dartfish over to Western Australia for the championships. I'm going to get to, we'll probably go through 2 areas here, John. There's a fantastic opportunity. The fantastic company called Omnibus are building a media truck, the first one in Australia like this, at local level for local level football. We can get around the country areas. We can go across Australia. I think I've got a bed in there and a coffee pot as well. Tell us first of all about the truck, and then we'll talk about the sponsorship opportunities that the people out there have got that is unique to a van like this. It's not a sign on a ground. It's not a sign on a scoreboard. It's going around Australia. So tell us about the truck first of all, because I'm keen to know where I've got to sleep.
Yeah, I think initially when we had commentators, 4 or 5 years ago, we had so many games to commentate, everyone just jumped at it, and they were happy to film in the grandstand and in any weather conditions, or move if it started to rain, or if it was too hot, they'd stick an umbrella on top of them or go into the shade. But now they've become a bit soft. If it rain's coming in, in one of our media trailers or in our facilities, they get a bit grumpy and they let us know. Things have changed a little bit. So we have a number of media trucks or smaller trailers that we use, and we tow around, and we're able to put signage around the outside. We can have a facility above that trailer where we can have height for the filmer. But And we have stands, and clubs have been much better than they were 5 years ago.
Yep.
But we're finding that there are a number of facilities, not usually in country areas because they have a grandstand or a timekeeper's box. But old Bob or Mary, who's been in the timekeeper's box, doesn't. They don't want to move, and they've had their hot dog or their whatever else they're doing. They don't want little Billy to come in there and put their camera and set up, and they want to be able to swear and curse their opposition players or their own players at the same time. They don't want someone to come in there.
We've had a bit of it where we've been commentating and they're right next to us, and we've heard everything, phones going off.
Exactly.
Calling out and everything. So the truck...
So to answer that is, we're finding that it'd be great to have a truck that we can take around and we don't have to rely on the club. So we could rock up at anywhere and it would have its own generator. We can walk into the truck and go upstairs and have a mezzanine level where it has a pop top, like you have a pop top caravan. So when I was talking to Omnibus the other day, the whole roof, when you get up there, you'll click a button and it will go well above the height of the truck, and you can sit there as commentators, as a producer, as a filmer, to film and commentate from there. You can sleep in there as you want. You can have meetings in there. So the reason why I mention around meetings is, we can partner with, I'm sort of thinking of Nutrient, for example, would be a great opportunity if they're having field days or any of their partners. Yep. If they were doing, where they have the trial dogs or whatever on those facilities, or when there's country shows, you could actually call that. Or at the races, you could actually call it from this mezzanine level, but the great part of that is it's going to have a scoreboard on it. So it's worth $120,000. They've tipped in 75% of that cost. So that when we turn up at a club, then we can have the scoreboard on there. We can have the replays on there. We can have the commentators on there. Whatever we've got on video will be on that scoreboard. And as you know, with the Sportal scoreboards that are going in everywhere, I noticed in Football Victoria the other day, they're putting them in there. They've had them in Football South Australia. They've gone in footy clubs everywhere, because we could be sitting here and there could be a game on in another state. We jump on an app and we can make it a hockey scoreboard, a footy scoreboard, a netball scoreboard. We can put a movie on it. We can do whatever we want.
So I was going to allude to that. Two things with the Sportal scoreboards, because we've been out at the presentations, of course. I know there's one in Country South Australia, and they do the community announcements through the day. People go into the football ground now, it's a permanent, and they sit there and have lunch, and while they're having lunch, there's adverts, there's sponsor adverts, there's community announcements. If there's a fire in the region, touch wood, it doesn't happen. So it's got so many uses. The other one is... some of the clubs are now using, I know, in one of the grounds there, they're having junior days and they're having film nights.
That's right.
So instead of training, they're all sitting out on the oval. But imagine the truck could pull up anywhere. You could sit everyone out in the oval and have a picnic and deck chairs and have a film night with it all up on that Sportal scoreboard. There are so many uses available. Tell us around. I could talk about half an hour more on this because I'm so excited with it. But the opportunities for sponsors, because every advert that goes up, you could have 100 sponsors and that could change each time, so they would still get exposure no matter where you go, what you do, etc. So tell us about the opportunities for sponsors, because I think this is a huge opportunity to those that want to get in first.
Yeah, well, we want to keep it for Western Australian country. So at the moment we need, so it's the cost of it's been just over $350,000 by the time we've had to change it, manipulate a few things, and the cost of goods at the moment, but we need probably at a minimum about $75,000. So we want to bring on opportunity with partners now, that when we're travelling around, wherever we may be, then we can advertise them. So if you're a sponsor out there and you want to advertise, then for the next couple of years, hopefully you do it for forever, but we're open for it now. So when we finish this in, say, 3 or 4 weeks' time, so the Sportal scoreboard will be brought in the next few weeks and fitted. And then from there, every time we go to a ground, we won't just put up the sponsors for that as those clubs to help them out. But if we've got a day where we need to promote mental health or we want to about road safety, but if you're an agricultural company or to do with lime or gypsum, whatever it may be, then we're happy to put that up on the screen and promote you every day, everywhere we go. And if we pull up at a certain facility, we can beam that out onto the screen.
Very exciting. We're not far away from it.
No, so I was only there yesterday and had a walk through, and they're about to put the pop top on it. Some of the luxuries things like a fridge in there and air conditioning and things like that will be the last thing that will go there. But we want to get it to lock up, and we want to have it out there for the finals, and we want to support country clubs. So if we have the ability to turn up at Lake Grace or at Mullewa, that we've got this wonderful truck, and our commentators, they won't whinge about the weather because they'll be undercover, and they'll be able to just walk in and they'll be able to call the game. Our producer will already have the gear in there, and the club won't have to say we can't connect you to power because it'll overload our system. We'll already have it there.
There it is.
So hopefully in a month's time we're out and about.
So just on finishing, a fantastic job by Filming Footy and Dartfish, of course, over here in Western Australia. We came and did it last year. We've got probably 80-90% of the leagues, if not all, on board for not only the grand finals, but we've got a commentator here. Young James has come down from Geraldton. We've got a guy from Albany coming up. We've got them coming from all around. It is absolutely huge, and it's a credit to yourself, John, and the crew at Filming Footy and Dartfish. So just on finishing, how exciting is it? We talk about meeting the people from the regions. That's what I'm going to get out of it. How exciting is it to now be able to share what's happening down here with those people in the regions?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And you'll see that when we go out to Peel today, when they have their jumpers presented to the players, and then in the last 2 weeks where we've gone around visiting those clubs, they're excited and we're excited, and you only need a couple of people to come to you and say, Nan's watching from a sick bed, or such and such is watching from they couldn't make it today, or the coach who was going to coach is injured, so he's back at home and he's watching the game. To be able to deliver that, we're wrapped.
And I know, just on finishing, we'd like to thank you very much. We can see the Archies. I know they're one of our great sponsors, but we've decided this year with the awards, it's not just the winning team. We're going to spread it across. I almost teared up last year when I gave a little fella from the losing team the thongs. I can still remember it now. Of course, you get the Dartfish beanie. We've got Archie's thongs. We've got a range of prizes for Mark of the Day, Goal of the Day, Best on Ground, and as I said, so we thank you so much, John. It's not just about filming and stats. There's more to it as well. We're very giving with what we're doing over the championship, so thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, as we wind into the first day of proceedings, that is Between the Posts, folks. Tony Neal and James Gardner joining you. We'd like to thank you for viewing. Of course, where can they get hold of all the games again, James?
You can enjoy all the games, every single game throughout the Nutrien Ag Country Championships final through the Filming Footy website, or scan the QR code on your screen now. Get your phone out, scan it, it'll take you to the website, and you can enjoy every single game, all live streamed, all commentated by our fantastic Filming Footy commentators. And it's now time for the championships to begin, Tone. Can't wait.
We cannot wait. We've got some, as we said, some other things coming up in future shows, a few surprises for you. We'd like to thank, first of all, our sponsors. Second of all our guests that came in for the interviews. And thirdly, and most importantly, you, the viewers. Please enjoy the championships, and we'll see you on the next show.